Okay, everyone who's asked me about college football, guess what? You know what 5 straight hours of programming does? Is it gets an algorithm really. So we're here, and I prepared a college football algorithm. I had a version that I had prepared back in 2019. I got frustrated with it and was having difficulty, but we're revamping it, and I rolled the whole thing forward to this year, and I set up projected scores, and there's going to be a ton of more work done with this, but it's already doing things. And we're going to talk about projections for week 3. We already have them up here. We have scores, we have algorithm win percentages. We're going to get there in a second. What I'm going to do here is this takes a lot of effort, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to do this later in the season as we get into other sports like NBA and NHL and college basketball. So what I'm going to offer is, for $100, I will update this college football algorithm for the entire month of September. It's going to be about 4 to 5 weeks of games, and I'll send a copy and I'll answer questions, and we'll try to make this better for the month. And then if we want to continue it after that, I'll offer some subscription service after that, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to be with this the entire year because it's very extensive. And we have, you know how many players we have in college football? Looks like, let's see here. It's in the thousands. It's 4,624 players are being included. This is a very big file, a lot going on here. So I'm not going to bore everyone with going through every sheet. There will be a how-to tutorial video that will go over how to update this as it becomes more standard and streamlined. What I will do is briefly show you what the summary pick sheet does. So let's go back to week 1, for example. One of the ways that I get these algorithms to do amazing things is that I backfill them so that with the stats that we have, I get the formulas to generate scores and win percentages that were consistent with whatever the historical result was. Meaning, looking at the results from week 1, there was a game, a neutral site game between Notre Dame and Navy. Backfilling the projected scores using the player stats and team stats, I get this to be a 42-3 game, and it was a 42-3 game. The Vanderbilt-Hawaii game, I have this being 35-23. It was actually 35-28. San Diego State, I get it to be 2018. It was 2013. Everything looks decent, except for when you get down at the bottom, this Massachusetts-New Mexico State game, the projected scores do not align here. Here, it predicted that New Mexico State would have won this game, and the score kind of got flipped. So as you can see, there was only so much I could do to backfill the scores in a formula-driven manner to get them really good. However, the algorithm win strength percentage is positive. So when you look at what this would have done for week 1, it would have had 5 winners by win strength and 4 winners by projected score. Let's look at week 2 to see how week 2 would have done. It gets every single game by algorithm win percentage. Great. Algorithm win percentage is derived from this season pivot sheet. Not going to get into it in this video how this is done, but it distributes stats, and we're not going to talk about it in this video. But it would get every game right. And then when it comes to projected scores, it's probably not going to have every single game right, although it's looking pretty good. You know, like, it gets this Minnesota-Nebraska game to be 10-8. It ended up being 13-10. You know, so it's doing some of the right things. I'm trying to look to see if there's any area where the score would have not predicted the winner. No, it's pretty good, but it's very early in the season, so it's easy to kind of make it look like this. Point is, this is ready to get started. So let's talk about week 3 and what it says. I don't follow college football at all. I'm obviously going to have to start to make sure these things are working well. So let's shrink this down and see what analysis we have, because we have the actual lines for this week 3. And we're going to be able to look at basically everything that you're seeing on the screen now is going to be what's important. Okay. So how many games are there? 39 games. Teams that have a very high algorithm win score percentage, that is symbolic of a very distorted matchup. So you can see that the money lines here that are insanely bad, that's consistent with the order that the algorithm is putting out. What that's also saying is that, wow, Oregon should crush Texas Tech according to our numbers, and they're only minus 250. So the algorithm is saying there's value in taking Oregon to win, and that they probably cover the spread here. Now, what I know ends up happening is that maybe Oregon had a very weak opponent in the first week. It's very possible, and they probably put up a ton of points, and so that's why this is distorting this early in the season. And Texas Tech maybe is a better team, and the odds makers might have this better than us right now. I just don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to watch and see. But this is pretty. It's already helpful, right? James Madison over Virginia. That's a local game where I am. Says that Madison would crush Virginia. Virginia must have had a really rough go in their first game of the season. Who did they play in their first game of the season? How did that go? Let's look at Virginia in week 1. There's a few different ways that we can do this. It's Virginia in week 3. Virginia played week 2, it looks like. Yep. So Virginia played in week 2, and they probably got beat. Let's see exactly what this is doing. It's saying that, yeah, Virginia got blown out by Tennessee is what happened. So Tennessee's probably an excellent team. And therefore, when you're looking at this projection, there's no way we can really tell just by looking at this pick sheet that Virginia had a really tough opponent in week 1. So it's probably underestimating their points. Madison is probably not going to hold them to 7, right? So you can see there are already going to be issues here. But this is raw just out of what has come out of the stats. So we're going to go with this, and we're going to start working with it, monitoring scores, and get this thing to do what we want it to do, if at all possible. So that's my promise here, is that I will spend this month updating this every week, working with the projected score formulas, working with the player rosters. I will add depth charts to this, which I have not done yet, but we'll do that next. And there you go, like Jacksonville State, plus 420 against Coastal Carolina. Great line here. Why? I don't know, but algorithm is just, pointing this, being like, wow, this is a team with a huge margin. They must have played a really weak opponent in week 1. And Coastal Carolina probably played a difficult opponent in week 1. That's probably what you can draw from this, but at least it's going to give you a head start to understand these matchups, and at least based on current season stats, like how would this line up? So we do have some underdogs on here. App State over North Carolina. Scores over here. Yeah. I mean, it's doing something. So it's doing something. I spent the day on it. It's ready. I'm putting it up for sale. September subscription for $100. You'll get the emails from me. You can provide input, and I will certainly be receptive to that input to try to make this better. But the demand is there. I've been getting requests for college football, and I keep saying, no, it's too difficult. No, I tried. No, I pulled my hair out. There's still some left, but I pulled some hair out trying to work on this in 2019. With the advancements that we've had with the NFL file, working with player stats and depth charts, perhaps we can make something work better this year. So it's out. College football is ready to be released. So if you're interested, follow the link in the description. We'll be focusing on it. And I mean, let's go Jacksonville State, right? All right. Good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning. May all your college football be enjoyable, because it's a fun sport to watch. Let's face it. I mean, anytime you went to a school and you get to watch your alma mater play, there's certainly a big user base. College football is probably the second most popular sport, right behind NFL, certainly when it comes to football. I think college basketball might be a little bigger, but you get a big day of college football on Saturday. It's fun. So good luck, everyone. May all our picks be winning.